What's going on, people? Jack Rickson, human being made, taking a stroll through the park, wonderful British summertime, and I'm feeling pretty good. I want to talk to you about one of the biggest factors in sex addiction, which is sexual disownership. It's a fancy term. It means repressing your sexuality, not allowing yourself or other people to acknowledge the sexual element in you. Fact is, what you don't express, you will repress. And what you repress is going to leak out of you. It has to. And when you look at all of the most moral, the most righteous and respectable, virtuous people in the public eye, they're always the guys that get caught with their trousers down. Always the guys involved in some sort of media scandal, you know? It could be the fundamentalist preacher who says that homosexuality is wrong, and if you indulge, you'll burn in hell for all eternity. And you find out in the newspaper that he's been having a gay love affair for the past 3 years. It could be the conservative politician who wants to clean up the city of prostitution because it goes against traditional moral values, and he wants the death penalty for all sex workers and all this stuff. And then you find out again through the media that for the past 10 years, he's been paying these very same prostitutes for drug-fueled sex orgies. One very big motivator behind those behaviors is the belief that you cannot show your true sexual self. That it's either bad or it's dangerous, or that it will somehow have negative consequences. And it's different from not actively showing part of yourself. It's one thing to not actively be showing an element of yourself. It's another thing to try and hide it and make sure nobody else sees it. I remember when I was sort of 19 or 20 years old, and this girl wanted to meet me, so we got together and certain substances were smoked, and it was pretty clear fairly soon that she wanted me to make a move on her, even to my naive 19-year-old self. And my entire body, I still remember, just froze, and it tightened up. My brain went offline, and all I could sense, all I could focus on was just this tension in my body, this unexplainable energy. And it's kind of funny looking back now at what could have most likely been the most awkward kiss of both of our lives. But I realized that the belief that was at play, that was causing this reaction in me, was I am not worthy of intimacy, or on the flip side of that, it is wrong to show my sexual self. Don't do this. This is wrong. This is bad. And we get these sort of influences thrown at us from all different sorts of elements. It could be media, it could be advertising. Instagram is a big one. Body issues, right? Even our parents, our family, and their view of sexuality, which is such a big topic. I'm going to cover that one very, very soon. But it's important to realize that at some point, this belief served a function for you, and to not resist it, to recognize its positive intention. So what I want you to do, I want you to write down in 2 columns on a sheet of paper. On one side, what do I believe about myself? What do I feel is true about me? On the other side, what do I believe about sexuality? And write down everything that comes to mind. And then think to yourself, who taught me to feel this way? Do I believe this to be true? When did I learn to think this way? And Taoists call this the acquired mind. It's who we think we are before we start to think about who we are. So as you go through that list, you may find that it takes you back to a certain memory. It might spark something off in you, and it might be something really small, like perhaps you asked a girl out at school and she said no, and all of her friends laughed in your face, and you learned that you're not worthy of intimacy. Or it could be something really, really major, something that maybe you don't even need to write down. You just know is responsible for how you relate to sexuality and yourself. But sooner or later, you begin to work with them, and you'll realize that these are parts of yourself that you haven't acknowledged, that have been in your shadow for a very, very long time. And as you bring them into the light, and you bring them back into the way that you feel about yourself, you can give yourself permission to, in slow, small, steady ways, take back your sexual power and acknowledge that you are worthy of intimacy and you can express your desire. And if you're a man, it's as simple as just telling a girl that you like the look of her, which, believe it or not, girls, can be a really, really scary thing for a lot of us. And if you're a woman, it could just be buying clothes that you feel sexy in, you know, giving yourself permission to feel beautiful and to feel embodied and desirable. So there it is, guys. Lots more stuff to come from me to you. Jack Rickson, signing out. Catch you soon.